Welcome back to Cribs and Ribs. Today we're going to do soft and tender pork belly bites with a strawberry glaze. See, this cross section of pork belly looks pretty much like bacon, doesn't it, everybody? Well, pretty much is. Just hasn't been cured yet. We want to cook this into pieces that are about 2 bites each. This is going to shrink down quite a bit. So a piece like this, I'm going to cut this into 3 strips. Those 3 strips, I'm going to cut into pieces that, again, I want to get into about 2 bites when they're done. These are going to cook down perfectly. These are going to be rich and decadent, everybody. So here I got about 4 pounds worth of pork belly chopped up and ready to go, everybody. Let's go ahead and move on to the marinade. So the marinade that we're putting together here is actually kind of similar to a carne asada marinade. Half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a generous half a teaspoon of black pepper. That's just going to add our spice to the marinade. We want to go ahead and get some strawberries tossed in there right away, just to set the tone. Doing about 3 cloves of garlic, about half of a small shallot, a little bit of ginger, about half of a white onion or yellow onion. This is a yellow onion. Snatch of cilantro there. I'm using some liquid coconut aminos here. We're going to put in about 1/8 of a cup. Also, we want to get some sweetness going. About 1/8 of a cup of real maple syrup. No substitute. About 1/8 of a cup of balsamic. With half a cup of water. Blend it on up. Get that good and worked around. Really kind of massage it in there. Now you really want to let this marinate for a while. I'm going to let it go overnight. But try to at least give it a good 3 or 4 hours if you can. These have been marinating all night. These should be ready to go. I'm going to put these on some bacon racks. I just turn these upside down and use these. That way I can kind of turn them around in the cooker and whatnot. That vinegar and salt really went to work on these pork belly bites. This is going to render down unbelievably. I'm going to put the small and ugly pieces over on one rack and the pieces that are pretty sturdy over here on the other one. Just kind of keep those together, you know, so I can move those to the appropriate part of the grill and get a better even cook. Now you don't want to overcrowd these things, you know, but they don't have to be, you know, too terribly far apart. That marinade really smells good. That strawberry really gives it a really fresh sort of a element to the aroma. The cilantro just matches up perfect with that cumin and chili powder. Oh, these are really going to be good. Bigger pieces to one rack here. You know you're a smoker better than I do. You know, so try to keep those bigger pieces together towards the hot spot. At this point, I'm just going to put a little seasoning on here. Today I'm using this honey garlic. This is from Fire and Smoke Society. Fire and Smoke's pretty good. I've said it before in different videos. They've got a whole variety of different seasonings. We're going to go ahead and get some of that on top here. Just to give it a little bit of texture, a little extra flavor. And honey garlic, it's just like it sounds. It's got a little bit of garlic, it's got a little bit of sweet, it's got some salt to it. You know, but nothing that's going to be too intrusive on that strawberry or the cilantro. This will actually complement it really nice. I'm going to go ahead and give these a quick turn and hit them again on the other side. Everybody, so I've got that pellet grill. I use my Pit Boss. I've got that Pit Boss set at about 250 right now. Got it loaded up with their signature blend pellets. You can pretty much use whatever sort of pellets you want to use on that. Believe it or not, we've got a blizzard of sorts going on here in Las Vegas right now. It's snowing outside. It was beautiful outside yesterday. It's Valentine's Day today, and it's been flurries of snow and, you know, Arctic weather all day long, everybody. So I'm not going to bother setting up the camera outside, everybody. You're just going to have to trust me. Set that pellet grill to about 250. Use your favorite type of wood. Put the big chunks towards the hot spots on your cooker. This pork belly's seasoned up just right, so we're going to get some smoke on it for about 3 or 4 hours, and then we're going to finish it off with a nice braise/glaze made of strawberry. It's going to be delightful. So let's take a peek. Ooh, that pork belly's looking good. It's picking up a beautiful color. We're gonna let that go for about another hour while we get this glaze ready. Then we're gonna finish this off in that strawberry glaze. It's gonna be magnificent. It's time to get started on this strawberry glaze. We want it to be nice and thick and syrupy sweet. We're gonna be making this with some strawberry jam. We're gonna be adding some Serrano peppers. I really want this to be able to kick you in the mouth. This is gonna be a nice spicy glaze. We're gonna do some fresh cilantro and basil, and we're gonna mince up some garlic and ginger as well. First, let's dice up these Serrano peppers. Now you can use jalapeno if you don't want that much heat, everybody, but Serrano brings it a little bit more than jalapenos. And when you cook these peppers, they definitely tend to lose a little bit of that aggression. You know, so I like to go with something a little bit hotter. So to get this glaze going, we're going to start out a little bit above a medium heat. Do a little splash of olive oil in there. And from there we're going to go ahead and start with our Serrano peppers and our garlic and ginger. And we're going to soften this down a little bit. You can add just a little bit of salt there. Alright, these are softening up real nice. You can definitely smell those Serrano peppers cooking. We're going to go ahead and add our herbs and green onions. Give that a quick stir, and then you can put your spices right in, everybody. I did half a teaspoon of mustard powder, half a teaspoon of chili powder, and half a teaspoon of paprika. We put those in before we start adding the liquids, just so that we can let those seasonings kind of toast a little bit. Okay, from here, we're going to kind of start to deglaze this pan with a little bit of vinegar. I'm doing a 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar, and I'm also going to do a 1/4 cup of balsamic. Scrape up any of that frond on the bottom of the pan there before it burns on there too much. I like using different types of vinegars together to make this sort of stuff, just because it kind of helps you, you know, develop a little bit of a complexity of flavor. Just kind of helps you build some depth there. Oh yeah. We'll let that vinegar reduce down just a little bit. So I went ahead and just threw in another 1/4 cup of water. Get up to a light simmer, and we're going to add in our diced strawberries. We'll go ahead and add a couple twists of pepper in here, everyone. And another good pinch of salt. Pinch and a half, we'll call it. Now we're going to add in some strawberry preserves. This is where we're going to get a lot of our sweetness from. Really concentrate that nice strawberry flavor. I'd say it's looking like about a cup. So it's already starting to thicken up. It's been on for about 10 minutes. But those strawberries and peppers are definitely soft enough that I can run this immersion blender through it. Now I don't want to get this, you know, super smooth or anything. I like a little bit of the chunk. Okay, we are going to need to add some brown sugar to this, just to get that syrupy, sticky sort of texture. We'll start out with a 1/4 cup. Mix that in and let that dissolve and see where that gets us. It's starting to get nice and sticky as that brown sugar dissolves. Starting to get that texture we like. And we've probably got about another 15 minutes to let this reduce and happy up before we're ready to put that on our nice, delicious pork belly bites. Alright, let's give this a little taste and see what it needs. The texture is definitely coming along. It definitely needs that time to let that ginger kind of mellow out a little bit. We're going to need a touch more salt, so I'm just going to do a sprinkle of these coconut aminos. Nothing crazy. You adjust yours to taste. Really, I think it just needs one other thing. And that's just a touch of Worcestershire sauce. I'm just gonna do a sprinkle in there. And I think this is gonna be ready to go. This is really gonna be beautiful on those fantastic porky bites. All right, so this pork belly's looking great. We're gonna start transferring this on over to our pan here. Get our glaze on top here. Get all those little bits and pieces that you can in there, everybody. I wish you could smell it. Just gonna toss these around. Okay, now that moisture and that glaze is gonna almost kind of steam this along to get this pork nice and tender. We'll pick up as much of that glaze as we possibly can. You don't want to put it over the top of the pork. Just pour it onto the empty parts of the pan, just so that can kind of help it steam along. Now we're going to cover it in plastic wrap and aluminum foil. Get that good and sealed on there, everybody. Get that as vapor tight as possible. Now we're going to put that back in our cooker for about another hour. We had this uncovered on the smoker at about 250 for about 4 hours, and then we covered this up for another hour. Let's take a look and see where we're at. Ooh, see all that steam coming out of there? Ooh, wow. That smells amazing. Ooh, man, I don't know where to start. Can't wait to taste these. That sauce glazed on there, really nice. So fragrant. That balsamic is really prevalent in the smell. That's gonna, highlight those strawberries real nice. You can see we got some beautiful caramelized color. Ooh, there we go. Can't wait to taste this. They're nice and hot. Let's see if we can pick one of them up yet. Nope. Better wait for a minute. All right, everybody. These are soft and tender and caramelized. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I wish I could hand it to you right through the camera there, everybody. Let's give this a taste. Mmm. 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 That pork fat renders down beautifully. You get a nice chew from the lean. Serrano pepper's added a little bit of a kick, but it's not too bad, everybody. It's not too bad at all. I think my kids will be all right with this one, but you can tell it's there. Also, that ginger was a good call. The strawberries are prevalent in the glaze. This was a great pairing. But I hope you'll hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. It sure helps the algorithm. If you or a friend is moving in or out of the Las Vegas area, give me a call, everybody. I'd love to be your realtor. Cribs and ribs.